At the dinner table, the girl Claire had been supporting started talking about going to a hot spring alone with Claire's husband, and Xander didn't deny a thing. He just smiled and went right along with it. The other students Claire had helped all sided with Grace too. They mocked Claire for being jealous and overly suspicious. That was the last straw. Claire flipped the entire table, but instead of comforting his wife, Xander pointed at her and called her a shrew. Then he walked out with Grace right in front of Claire, saying he was taking Grace to a couple's restaurant for her birthday. He never even looked back. That is when Claire finally gave up. They'd been married for 10 years. The whole time they told everyone they chose not to have kids. Claire always thought it was a decision they made together. 7 years earlier, she miscarried after being forced to drink at a business event. She could never have children again. Ever since then she'd blamed herself and kept giving in to Xander. What he didn't know, Claire had already started collecting evidence. Her phone was full of the money he transferred to Grace. She had even picked the perfect place to expose him, the grand opening of the family's new ice rink. She planned to expose Xander in front of the media and business leaders, then divorce him. But before she could make her move, Xander made his first. He rented out the entire ice rink, kicked every guest out, all for one reason, to throw Grace a private birthday party. Claire watched everything from upstairs. Grace and the students laughed around a capsule toy machine, making jokes about Claire's age, calling her menopausal. Xander even gave the whole machine to Grace as her birthday gift. Grace turned one capsule, then said her birthday wish out loud. She hoped the baby she was carrying with Xander would be born healthy. The whole place went silent, but that wasn't even the biggest shock. Grace revealed a secret she'd been hiding for 7 years. Claire's miscarriage was never an accident. For a whole month Grace secretly mixed saffron into Claire's meals, every single day, and Xander paid for all of it. The two of them planned it together. Claire went cold. For 7 years, she thought it had all been her fault, and she finally knew the truth. She didn't rush downstairs. Instead, she called her assistant. She contacted the media, and Xander's parents then announced something else. There would be an adoption ceremony today. Once everyone arrived, people were still praising Xander for being generous. Nobody saw what was coming. Claire walked straight to the locker room with the reporters. The next second, the cameras caught Xander and Grace half-dressed together. Both of them froze. Xander immediately yelled for the reporters to stop filming. Grace hid behind him, looking completely innocent. The reporters started firing questions. If this was an adoption ceremony, why were the two of them alone in the locker room? Xander quickly claimed he was only helping Grace fix her clothes, then blamed Claire for organizing the ceremony without asking him. Claire exposed his lie on the spot. The crowd started talking. Then Grace stepped forward. She tried taking all the blame. She even begged Claire to hit her. Claire didn't hesitate. She slapped Grace across the face, then said, "I want everyone to see what you've really been doing behind that fake father and daughter act." Grace instantly played the victim. Xander completely lost it. The students started defending Grace again. Even Xander's parents told Claire to let it go. Claire's answer was a stack of photos. Over 7 years, more than 2,000 secret meetups, bars, KTVs, hotels, every one of them was documented. The proof was right there. The whole room exploded again. But Grace still refused to admit anything. She cried, saying she was only grateful for Xander's support and felt sorry for a husband who wasn't understood by his wife. The students backed her up. Some even blamed Claire for never giving Xander a child. Claire didn't argue. She pulled out the divorce papers. Their prenup was crystal clear. Whoever committed serious marital misconduct got nothing. She demanded Xander leave with nothing. Xander just laughed, then mocked Claire for losing the baby years ago, saying she'd be nothing without him. Just when everyone thought she was out of moves, she played one last recording. In it, Grace admitted she had been secretly feeding Claire saffron, and Xander admitted he paid for it. The recording ended. Xander's face turned white. That is when he finally realized everything that happened at the ceremony had been part of Claire's plan. And his answer, he actually tried to buy her off with a luxury handbag. The crowd booed immediately, watching everything fall apart. Grace urged Xander to divorce Claire and fire her from the company. The students piled on too, even telling Claire to get on her knees and apologize. They all believed everything Claire had came from Xander. Claire just smiled, then called her secretary. One order: freeze every bank account under Xander's name and cancel every scholarship for the students standing there. The students panicked instantly. Xander couldn't believe it. The wife he'd always looked down on was the one with the power to destroy everything he had. Claire looked at the terrified pair and said one last thing: "Tomorrow, all of this will be in the news, and I'll see both of you in court." Several business leaders immediately offered her legal support. Grace broke down crying, asking Claire why she still wouldn't let her go. Claire never answered. Xander stared at his wife. He was finally starting to realize this was only the beginning.